Imagine Europe in the 14th century. It was a time of stark contrasts and vivid life. The landscape was dotted with small villages and burgeoning towns, each with its own unique character and charm. The air was filled with the sounds of daily life, from the clanging of blacksmiths' hammers to the chatter of market-goers. Life was vibrant but harsh. The majority of the population were peasants, working tirelessly from dawn till dusk. Their lives were dictated by the seasons and the whims of nature. Despite the hard work, there was a sense of community and shared purpose. Most people lived in villages. They toiled the land, growing crops and raising livestock. Travel was rare and often perilous, with most never venturing far from their birthplace. The village was the center of their world, a place where everyone knew each other. Cities were growing, but they were crowded and unsanitary. Streets were narrow and often filled with waste. Healthcare was basic, with little understanding of hygiene. The risk of disease was ever present and outbreaks were common. People relied on traditional remedies, using herbs and plants to treat ailments. Apothecaries were the go-to for medicines, mixing potions and salves from their knowledge of natural ingredients. They believed in the power of prayer. The church was a central part of life, offering solace and hope. Religious rituals and ceremonies were woven into the fabric of daily existence, providing comfort in times of need. They sought help from barber surgeons and apothecaries. Barber surgeons performed minor surgeries and dental work, while apothecaries provided remedies and advice. Both played crucial roles in the community's health. Physicians, guided by ancient Greek texts, had limited understanding of disease. Their knowledge was based on the works of Hippocrates and Galen, which, while advanced for their time, were still rudimentary by modern standards. The people of this era had little awareness of the microscopic world. They didn't know about bacteria or viruses. Hygiene practices were minimal, and the concept of sanitation was rudimentary at best. They didn't understand the concept of germs. Illnesses were often attributed to bad air, imbalances in bodily humors, or divine punishment. This lack of knowledge left them vulnerable to diseases. They were ill-equipped to deal with a major health crisis. Medical practices were primitive, and there were no effective treatments for many diseases. The stage was set for a catastrophe. They were about to face their worst nightmare. The Black Death was on the horizon, a plague that would decimate the population and change the course of history forever. The Black Death, a devastating plague, emerged in the 1340s. It originated in Central Asia. It spread westward along trade routes. It hit Europe with terrifying speed. In 1347, Italian trading ships arrived in Sicily. They carried more than just goods. They unknowingly brought the plague. The consequences were immediate and catastrophic. The disease, later identified as bubonic plague, was horrifying. It caused painful, swollen lymph nodes, fever, and often a gruesome death. Panic spread as quickly as the disease itself. From Sicily, the Black Death spread like wildfire. It engulfed Italy. It moved north, reaching France, Spain, and England. It swept through the Holy Roman Empire and into Eastern Europe. Within 5 years, the plague had killed an estimated 25 million people in Europe. That was almost a third of the continent's population. No one was safe. Entire villages were wiped out. Cities became ghost towns. The stench of death filled the air. The world seemed to be ending. The Black Death had a profound impact on medieval society. It shook people's faith. It challenged their understanding of the world. It triggered fear and desperation. Many believed the plague was God's punishment for their sins. They turned to religion for solace. They participated in processions of flagellants who whipped themselves in public as penance. Others sought scapegoats. Jews were often blamed. They were persecuted and massacred. The social fabric of Europe was torn apart. Section 5. Desperate remedies. Medieval medicine confronts the unknown. Medieval physicians were baffled by the Black Death. They had no effective treatments. They tried bloodletting and purging. They applied leeches and poultices. Nothing worked. Theories about the plague's cause abounded. Some believed it was caused by a corrupted atmosphere or miasma. Others blamed planetary alignments or earthquakes. The true culprit, the Yersinia pestis bacterium, remained unknown. Despite their lack of understanding, some responses were surprisingly effective. Quarantining the sick, and limiting contact with infected individuals helped slow the spread. Section 6 cities transformed urban life in the shadow of death. The Black Death had a transformative impact on cities. The sheer number of dead overwhelmed burial grounds. Mass graves were dug to accommodate the bodies. Sanitation, already poor, deteriorated further. The stench of decay permeated the air. Rats, which carried the plague-infected fleas, thrived in these conditions. The plague also led to significant economic changes. With a reduced workforce, labor became scarce and more expensive. The feudal system began to crumble as peasants demanded better wages and conditions. Section 7. Resilience and rebirth emerging from the ashes of the plague. Despite the devastation, humanity proved resilient. Communities began to show signs of life again. People returned to their daily routines, determined to rebuild. The streets, once empty, started to buzz with activity. Markets reopened and families reunited, showcasing the indomitable human spirit. Farmers returned to their fields, ensuring food supply. Marketplaces saw traders and buyers engaging in lively exchanges. Homes were rebuilt and the sense of community was stronger than ever. The plague subsided, leaving behind a changed world. Empty homes and overgrown fields were stark reminders of the lives lost. Yet amidst the ruins, there was hope. The population decline led to a surplus of land and resources. This newfound abundance allowed for the reclamation of abandoned farmlands and the discovery of untapped resources. Families who survived found themselves with more resources. They could afford better living conditions, finer clothes, and improved diets. The demand for skilled labor increased, leading to social mobility. Apprenticeships flourished, allowing many to rise above their previous social standings. The trauma of the Black Death spurred intellectual and artistic expression. Artists explored new themes and writers documented the human condition with renewed vigor. It led to a renewed interest in classical learning and a focus on the human experience, paving the way for the Renaissance. Section 8. Shaping a New World. Lasting impacts on public health. The Black Death forced people to confront the realities of disease and sanitation. It led to the development of quarantine measures and public health regulations. Cities began to implement sanitation improvements. They established boards of health to oversee hygiene and disease control. These measures, though rudimentary, laid the foundation for modern public health practices. The plague also influenced urban planning. Cities were redesigned with wider streets and better ventilation. Open spaces and parks were created to improve air quality and provide relief from overcrowding. Section 9. Echoes of the past, timeless lessons for the present. The Black Death serves as a stark reminder of humanity's vulnerability to pandemics. This catastrophic event, which swept through Europe in the 14th century, decimated populations and left a lasting impact on society. It highlights the importance of public health infrastructure, disease surveillance, and international cooperation. Effective communication, timely intervention, and global solidarity are crucial in mitigating the impact of such outbreaks. The lessons learned from the plague resonate even today. Modern society has faced its own share of pandemics, from the Spanish flu to the recent COVID-19 crisis. The need for scientific understanding, effective healthcare systems, and continuous research cannot be overstated. Vaccines, treatments, and preventive measures are the result of relentless efforts by the scientific community. Swift action in the face of outbreaks is as relevant as ever. Rapid response teams, emergency protocols, and coordinated efforts are essential in containing the spread of diseases. The Black Death was a tragedy of immense proportions. It wiped out a significant portion of the population, leading to social, economic, and cultural upheavals. However, it also served as a catalyst for change, prompting advancements in medicine, public health, and societal structures. Yet it also reveals humanity's remarkable ability to adapt, innovate, and overcome challenges. The resilience shown during such times is a testament to the human spirit. History is filled with examples of how societies have rebuilt and thrived after facing monumental challenges. These stories of recovery and progress inspire us to keep moving forward. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there is always a glimmer of hope. Communities coming together, supporting one another, and working towards a common goal can make a significant difference. As we look back at the lessons from the past, we are reminded of our capacity for resilience and innovation. With determination, collaboration, and a forward-thinking mindset, we can overcome any obstacle and build a better future for all.